What is going on, everybody? We are live. We're having some technical difficulties, so I am actually waiting on Allie to join this way, and then we'll get the show on the road. So, exciting stuff, guys. It's going to be a good interview. Pumped up. See if I turn this sideways. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Attempted. All right. Facebook doesn't like this. It's sideways. Okay. All right, Facebook. If you do it like this, swipe over. Who's my live viewer? Come on, Facebook, work. Where do you click to join? It's not letting me add you. There we go. Add live viewer. There we go.
Yay!
What's going on, Allie?
Oh, just another day.
Love technology. There we go. Let me see.
I know.
There we go. There's always a first for everything, but I love it. Cool.
Yeah.
There we go. It's stuck. All right. So let's go on ahead and start this off. Thanks so much for being on. For those of you that are watching the replay or watching live, this is episode 37 of Embrace the Chase. Very excited. It's growing a lot faster than I would have anticipated, and I'm pumped up because we have Allie on today. And Allie, I just want to make sure I do not say your last name improperly. How do I say it?
It's Ganino.
Oh, I would have been so
Allie
close.
Ganino. Yeah.
Ganino. I love it. And
yeah.
To give you a little bit more of an intro for everyone who's not familiar with you, guys, Allie is the founder and the owner of Micro Marketing, which is a basically like an all-in-one stop shop, correct? Like social media marketing, publishing, etc. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I love it. So excited to have you on. There's a lot of people in my network that probably got into social media marketing because of Ty Lopez and his course. So I know you're going to provide a lot of good value for them, and you have like your own twist on it. I did notice that you have, what is it, Dance with Allie? Is that right?
Well, okay, so this is a promo I was kind of doing. I'm really passionate about getting people to have a plan, not just a business plan with our goals saying, I want to pay off my house, I want this car, but actual marketing plan, because it's the biggest thing with Facebook, and I'm sure you've seen this, there's no strategy. People are just posting and they don't have a strategy, and then I'm like, use your insights. Facebook gives you insights for a reason, and they're just running ads, they're boosting posts, they don't know what they're doing. It's like the wild, wild west out there. So I'm really trying to encourage people. So I'm going to make a fool of myself and dance if people will schedule to do a marketing plan for 2018, because I am that passionate about it. And I've already been told that my first one that I did, I looked like those blow up things outside of the dealerships where their arms are just like waving around. So maybe not viral, but definitely engaging and interesting.
Well, I loved it. It was hilarious. I was watching it and I'm like, this is fun. This is going to catch on.
Yeah.
But a lot of people obviously don't know who you are. So I'd love to, if we could just start from the very beginning. Can you tell your story and kind of how you got into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So just with me personally, with life and business, everything's kind of been a little bit of a double-edged sword. And I mean that in the most positive way. I kind of had a situation which gave me this opportunity. I had been working in marketing for about 6 years, working with contractors, and the company I was working with just closed out of the blue. The owner got an awesome promotion, an opportunity he couldn't pass up for him and his family. And so even though we were growing and it was a young company and things were on the rise, it was just like I went in on Monday and it's like, okay, we're closing. I've never been unemployed. It like stressed me out. Of course, my husband was out of town, and I had planned to go to a digital marketing convention in Philly that weekend. So I'm like, what am I going to do? This is crazy. And so even though that was a hard day, it really opened the door to let's do what you're passionate about. People would always ask me if I was the owner of the company or married to the owner or the daughter of the owner or something because of that kind of relationship I would have with my clients or with my customers, with referral partners. So I was like, let's just do it. This is God's way of going, you have no choice. Get out of your comfort zone and do it. So that's pretty much what I did. So I knew I wanted to name my business micro marketing because in college, when I studied about micro marketing and that kind of hyper focus, that's where my niche was with small businesses, and I loved it. So went ahead, go online, did the LLC thing, got the domain name, got the website up that week, and still went to Philly. And it was an awesome experience because when you go to events like that, you get to meet these awesome writers and entrepreneurs, and you just come back like ready to conquer the world. So it was just what I needed to start my business. It was awesome.
I love it. I love it. So then,
yeah.
Have you always wanted to go into marketing?
No, marketing kind of pulled me. So surprisingly, I graduated from college and I had kind of found myself in like HR management type recruiting positions. And I was working for a staffing service helping 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning with their kind of onboarding process and getting new guys in there. And one of the guys in there who's in sales department said, you're in the wrong job. You do not need to be pushing paperwork. You're too personable. You're too energetic. You need to be marketing. And so it was that one person who said, you're in the wrong job. And they literally offered me a marketing job with really no experience. And so it was one of those things that just kind of happened, and it was a great time and everything just kind of lined up. So I'm very lucky for that.
I love it. I love it. So I have a separate tangent question for you. Where did you get the bulk of your training? Because most people that do social media marketing that I have run into have all been exposed because of Tai Lopez. So what kind of got you into this?
Okay, so I would just say hands-on. So when I started working with 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, I, of course, was like, this is a great opportunity, but my whole thing is I'm always going to outwork somebody else. That's my whole goal. I may not be the best, the smartest, especially being young. There's no way being in your early 20s that you can have, 40 years of experience under your belt. So I was like, I'm going to listen to every book on tape. I'm going to read every how-to book and go to every little seminar I could possibly do, and just kind of learned as I went about what was working for that company, what wasn't. And then as Facebook grew, I think it was just, I was able to kind of grow with those changes more naturally. And I mean, I'm able to do website design now. That was kind of a self-taught coding thing that, I mean, there's a lot of great resources online that I kind of taught myself because I needed to. And I felt like when I would try to hire it out, it never got done the way I wanted. So maybe it's also a little bit of a control thing. But yeah, so I guess my exposure with social media specifically really was just getting in the trenches and advertising for that heating and cooling company and saying, okay, this is working, this isn't working. Now why? Because I need to tell my boss why we need to spend more money on this and why it's going to work.
I like it. I like it. So then do you have any physical mentors, or do you read a lot of like specific books?
Well, I'm sure, I know you're always reading books. So I would say my two favorite, which I know are super popular, so you've probably already read them, is The 4 Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. That one for me this year has been such a mind shift. I was brought up kind of in this blue collar home where it is, you work hard and that's American dream. And what I'm realizing is, yeah, you can work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you still are like, okay, I've been doing this for a year. What gives? Where am I at with my business? And so I'm learning to work smarter and more strategic and have those income streams and really more of that plan versus just getting in there and working hard. There's more to it than working hard. So that one was huge for me. And then Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port. That's another one. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of it. I had some issues, I don't want to say with boundaries, but I just was so excited and passionate that when someone asked for something, I was just like giving and, oh, you need extra edits. And that really wasn't quoted in our price, but I'll just throw it in there. And so I really had to learn to set those boundaries with clients because not only is it good for me and my business, but it actually helps them because it sets clear boundaries of what to expect and I can create a better experience for them. Also, it helped me realize that, like, I think Seth Godin says, like, not everyone is your client. And that's so true because I know my first year in business, I had some people that I'm like, it's just not working. And I always came from the sales background that, like, every opportunity, you sell it. You do take anything you can. And so I'm learning as an entrepreneur for me in my business, if someone approaches me to manage their social media and they're not willing to do some of the things that I know will be required to make it successful, for me to say, you know what, I understand you're not comfortable. We're not going to get those results that I can guarantee. So maybe I'm not the solution for you at this point in your business. And I'm okay with that now, or before I was just like stressed about it.
It's so true. So then what advice would you give to people who own a social media marketing company right now or are thinking of starting one?
Well, I think the biggest thing would be so many times they're focused on their image. And I think that's important, but I know I was really blessed to have a good network. And so I kind of opened up shop and we're blessed with clients right away. And so I really poured into my clients more than I poured into myself. And that's actually seemed to work for me. So I would just say, if you start out maybe with 3 clients and then you have your own social media presence, I think it's important for you to do yours, but more importantly, making them successful. If you have to pick between yours and theirs, the proof is in the pudding, because what happens is business owners talk. So when you start generating revenue for them, they're going to start sending you referrals, and people don't even care about if you forgot to make that blog post or if you didn't get a chance to go live. I mean, it's important, and it's something that I'm focusing on in 2018 as I'm kind of scaling my business. But if you have to choose between doing a better video ad for a client versus getting that blog out there, hands down, client, I mean, that's what's going to speak volumes.
True, true. So then let's kind of move into the second bucket of questions that I typically do on the show. And that's, let's talk about your current projects and kind of your goals into 2018. So you're based here in Dayton, Ohio, like closer to Centerville-ish. So what are you doing right now to expand your business?
Okay. So like I said, you know, you kind of mentioned in the beginning, I do a little bit of everything. And I love that. But like, I've kind of learned my areas that I provide the best skill set. And so like with Facebook managing, that's something where I can say, okay, I'm going to do these 12 posts. Here's the days, here's the time, here's the content. And I want you to make these posts, because I think you understand with Facebook, it has to have that personality. And so if someone, like say I'm working with someone who's a business coach, I would say, I'll make these scheduled posts, but you need to post when you're out there networking, when you're reading these things, because it needs to have your face. It can't just be somebody outside of the company. It has to have your personality, your brand, that local instant feel. That's what's so engaging. So I think that's something that I do a little bit differently than some of the larger agencies in my area. And then also web design. That's something that has been really interesting. I've been approached by a lot of contractors. Like this summer, I got to do 2 different landscape companies' websites where they go, okay, we have a Facebook page. We don't have a domain. We kind of have a logo, and we have 0 content. And so I'm able to go, okay, this is what we need, and kind of break it down and go, I need at least 3 testimonials for your homepage. And then we're going to build up and give them kind of a what we need now, and then like a plan moving forward, versus just, let me put something out there that's creative and they don't understand why. A lot of them, ClickFunnels is a new concept.
Yep.
So instead of getting too in depth with ClickFunnels, I just like to say, think of it this way. Someone's on their cell phone. They want to call your services. They're going to look at this in the homepage. That links to what? What's the call to action? And just kind of explain to them kind of a dumbed down, simplified version. And I think they're like, great. Why hasn't anyone else simplified it this way? Why are they making because it usually, you know, ClickFunnels can be very complex. But starting out for a lot of small businesses, if we can simplify them and get just a taste, it still has good results.
I had a question that I was just about to ask, and it
Oh,
completely.
sorry.
No, you're good because you went on the ClickFunnels tangent, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was about. Oh, so it was about pricing. So a lot of people
Okay.
I see argue online a ton about how they price their services. So since you do several different things, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have just set packages, or do you tailor it to each person's needs?
So if I'm networking, I usually promote like one package. And the reason being is that marketing is kind of this weird thing for people outside of our business that feels very kind of smoke and mirrors. And unfortunately, they may have been burned by another company or another person. So I just kind of try to go, this is what I'm suggesting. And then as we talk, if they need less or more, we can customize that. But one thing I like to do when I'm talking pricing is equate it to hours. So for example, most professionals would say $75 to $100 an hour, and that's probably even on the low end, is worth 1 hour of their time. So if they can save 3 hours a month and pay me that amount and save them 3 hours and get better results and not have to learn anything or worry about it and get an updated email about what's going on, they're like, sign me up. So I try to equate the price to more of the hours or time that they're saving as a business owner versus like 10 hours times this dollar amount, if that makes sense. With
that makes
pricing.
sense.
Okay.
Do you play around with digital products for any of your customers?
Haven't got too much into that, but I definitely think that's something that would be a lot of fun to get into. And so if the opportunity was there, I would definitely love to just kind of jump into that full force.
This is just a complete side note that has nothing to do with that. But if you ever created a digital marketing course yourself, I know a lot of people that would buy it because you just have the personality that people are like, I want to learn from her. So
and start with dancing in the middle of the video, right?
You get a whole Facebook group of people dancing.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
So I want to respect your time, though. So I'm going to move to the last question that I ask everyone. Okay. That's, is there anything on your heart or on your mind right now that you either want people to know about you or a specific cause?
Okay. Well, I would just say I have two things that are kind of my messaging for business, more so than a nonprofit or a charity or cause that I'm kind of promoting. So one thing is I always say small acts have huge impacts. I think so many times business owners or people who are thinking of starting their own business say, I can't, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I need the security of a 9-to-5, which you and I know is a big lie. I walked in on a Monday and Ohio is a at-will employment and I didn't have a job. So I feel like I'm actually more secure being my own boss because I will get what I put into it. If I work hard and I do it right, I have a job. So there's more security there. So I do think it's important for you to realize that just the small things, just start where you can. If it's a blog or a Facebook page, start where you can. It doesn't have to be like full-fledged marketing day one. And then the other thing is do more with less. And I think this is something that you see a lot of people, they kind of call it the side hustle, but they kind of have that passive income or that other idea that they're working on. And I just think it's this idea that we have an opportunity to use technology to do more with less time. So it doesn't matter if you're traveling, where you're at, you can make a bigger impact with less time than we could 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I think sometimes people just feel like there's a million people out there online. I'm just going to be another person. And as you can see, like, no, you meet people and they have their own personality, their own experience that they bring to the table. So I think everyone has something to give and that matters. So I don't know if that's really something on my heart, but those are two things that I just feel like are just very constant when I'm going through business and kind of networking with people that I just feel like are kind of pillars for me.
That's incredible advice. Thank you. No, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
For those of you watching live right now or those of you watching the replay, down below are the links of all of Allie's stuff. So go check out her business page. Go check out her personal page. This is really who she is. We had some crazy technical difficulties before we got on, so trust me, she's not putting on a facade. This is Allie. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to her. And if any of you are, well, actually, before I even say this, Allie, do you do marketing for anybody in the country or are you just local?
Yes. So far, the only out of state I've had was in Colorado, but it just depends. If they work well online, and we did. He was someone who's expanding his real estate business, and it worked because we could talk, we could do video conferencing. It was easy. So if they're comfortable with it, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. If you guys know of anybody that's looking for someone who is a dedicated agency owner and not some person online faking it and pawning their services off to Fiverr.com, reach out to Allie.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. I know most people probably don't know this, but we've known each other for a long time.
That's true.
Kind of grew up in the same town, so that's kind of cool to reconnect and just see where life has brought you.
It's true. Crazy small world. I know when my mom watches this later, if she's not watching live, she's just going to eat this up.
I love your mom. She's the best. I love her so much.
Oh, she's going to love seeing that. But Allie, again, like I said, I want to respect your time. Thank you so much for being on. I'd love to have you on in the future to be able to share some more advice to everybody. But you guys have a great night.